Aloha, my name is Sean Palmer and I pastor one of our PCN churches here on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. I wanted to make this video and just reach out very briefly to our partner PCN churches, as well as many of you who are a part of Venture Network. I want to thank you. The outpouring that we've had over the last days has been just incredible. And so we've gotten messages and emails and really just messages of support letting us know that you're praying for us, messages of support saying, hey, we want to be able to help, we want to be able to partner with you guys. As you may know, we've been walking, we're just a week over from certainly the most catastrophic, disastrous event in recent history in the Hawaiian Islands. And what's being said now is it's perhaps maybe the most deadly, catastrophic crisis that's hit even America in the last 100 years. Wildfires swept through Maui and kicked up and swept through. They were fueled by a hurricane that was passing below our islands, and swept through at such a rate that it was not only catastrophic, wiping out, leveling the entire town of Lahaina, but taking many, many lives along with it. And so as you can imagine, there is a collective heaviness here in Hawaii over the last week. There is a sense, many of us, we have friends, we have family who we're connected to who have lost homes. We know people who are either still missing or have lost their lives. And so our news media is even just filled. It's like there's no place to turn or look without seeing images constantly replaying. And so you can be praying for us, because there is just a sense of heaviness where we are not escaping this reality anytime soon. I wanted to speak really quickly to what we're doing as a church, and if you would, just to join with us, at least in praying with us. But if you want to partner with us as well, some have reached out and said, hey, we'd love to be able to support. How can we do that? I'm standing right now in a room that we've used as kind of a holding tank. It's our children's ministry office, actually, but we are using this to hold supplies. And so in the last week, we had a big supply drop on Sunday morning, where we had our church and surrounding community. There are some other churches that joined us in this, and dropped off a number of essential supplies that we would then ship to Maui. Everything from diapers to hygiene to toiletries to flashlights, batteries, water filtration systems, tents, tarps. I mean, anything like that you can imagine that would allow kind of future living and sustainability for the coming days, weeks, and months. We found out on Sunday morning, it was very encouraging to watch how God opened doors, that one of the members of our church, she is a pilot for Hawaiian Airlines, and as it turns out, regularly flies the route to Maui. And so she got a hold of us right away, offered, said, hey, anything we want to bring. She said, I can bring 2 bags at a time. And so we loaded up suitcases on Sunday of smaller but essential things, packed them up in these suitcases, dropped them curbside at Honolulu, and she was able to run out, pick them up, take them on her flight, and then actually deliver them directly to a family there in Maui at the end of her flight, which was just incredible. And so that will continue to be a way that we can ship smaller goods. As I stand in this room today, we had a small team from our church get together, and through one of our firefighters here, he was able to lock down a cargo plane that's going to be able to do a drop on Maui tomorrow morning. And so they took a lot of our bigger supplies, are going to put them on a pallet, and then take them directly to families. So some cool stuff happening just in terms of short-term relief. Here's where we know we can make an impact as a church. We know that we have the ability to connect to families directly, and that allows us, again, in the very short term, to be in a place where we can deliver some essential items and essential goods. But the reality is now there are agencies and groups who are involved that do this probably much more efficiently at a much grander scale than we do, who will be stepping in and doing a lot of that in the coming weeks. So secondly, we recognize that one of the unique places we have as a church is a place of ongoing presence. And so for us as a church, we've realized this for us over the next series of years will be a long-term ministry. We've been meeting this week with other churches here on the ground on Oahu and talking about what it will look like to team together, to be a people who are present supporting local churches there in Maui and supporting families who we know. One of the realities, we met yesterday with a disaster relief coordinator who has been present for the last 5 years in the Paradise, California fires. And one of the realities is that oftentimes, as was the case in Paradise, families who have lost homes, who are faced with the reality of what it looks like to rebuild, will often simply relocate. And so we know that for us, that will likely be a reality. Also, Oahu, perhaps being a recipient of families who come who are going to be starting over. And so we're aware of that. Here's what you can do. If you are going to join us in praying, we invite that. Would you pray with us? One, we're praying for those who continue to be displaced and who are still looking for family members. We're 9 days into this, and there are still a number of people who are lost and haven't been able to connect with family, particularly because on Maui, communications in certain areas are still down. Second, would you pray with us for those who have lost lives and who have lost homes? There are many families today continuing to walk through the trenches of loss, and we want to be present with them. We want to pray for them, and we want to ask that the Lord would meet them in the midst of their despair. Third, we're praying for our first responders. Our church has many first responders, and so this hits home for us. But first responders right now are just doing tireless work. They're working around the clock. Many of them are coming in from out of state or out of island, as well as teaming together with local first responders on Maui. And they're volunteering their hours. Many of the guys on Maui have actually lost their homes, and yet they continue to work. And so we want to continue to pray that the Lord be with them and that He would strengthen them. One of the specific things we've been praying as a church is that the Lord would continue to give them resolve. Lastly, if you'd like to partner financially, we've got a fund that's open. The link for that will be here, and we would invite that. All of the funds received to our Island Wildfire Relief Fund, it is a benevolence fund through our church, will go toward immediate relief. So in the short term, that means that it allows us to pick up needed supplies to get them directly to a handful of families we're connected to in Lahaina. In the long term, what this means is this gives us the ability to offer ongoing support. And so we imagine that what that will look like is we will be training up teams both in grief response and the ability to just be present and sit with people for again coming months and years as this tragedy continues to sort of settle in and unfold. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your prayers and your encouraging messages. I can't express how much it means to us, but thank you. We love you, and we're glad to be partnered together with you. Aloha.